I paid only $5,300 for a one-owner, 55,000-mile, fully loaded Chevy Silverado with the Z71 off-road package, and in my opinion, the best paint color ever. And a truck like this is normally worth upwards of $25,000, but mine has a few issues. Oh my gosh, this mold is definitely growing. Oh my God. Oh. No, this oil pan is totally cracked. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this just yet, but I do think this was a boating accident. These are lake access permits. There's a couple fish stickers on the back, and just take a look at the flood line. This is so bad. It means the entire cabin was full of water. Now, there is some light at the end of the tunnel, as after removing all the ice and water from the inside of the engine, we soaked it with a mix of acetone and transmission fluid, and it spun perfectly. And outside of a rusted relay box, all the electrical connectors so far look great. Now, at this point, I'm giving the Frozen Auto a 42% chance of running, but only a 20% chance of driving, because this transmission was literally frozen, and who knows what that does to the inside of a transmission. Well, we are going to find out. And if you guys appreciate an automotive channel that gets right to work, no fluff, no talking about what I ate this morning for 5 minutes, then hit that subscribe button, and welcome to Legit Street Cars. Here we go. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay. Didn't see that coming, guys, obviously. Wow, tastes like transmission fluid, a little bit of lake water. I left a bolt in, I didn't think it was just gonna separate that quickly, jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna say there's definitely some water in there. I mean, we know it was frozen. That was just, man, that was a lot. That was a lot. I gotta say though, it looks clean. That's good. Let's just keep going with this madness. Hopefully we don't have to remove this exhaust. I think we'll be all right. Oh man, that was a lot of fluid. That was a way to just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm not taking this exhaust out. Oh, there we go. Okay. Man, this fluid looks great, guys. This is, I wonder if they just serviced this thing. Looking at the Carfax, it was only at the dealership. So water sinks, and that's a good thing. So the water is gonna go to the bottom, the oil is gonna be on top, and we can definitely see that. So we might have just had a really thin kind of sheet of ice at the very, very bottom. And that's great, because if the clutch packs weren't full of water, that's kind of what I was afraid of. If the clutch packs were full of water and expanded, there's tight tolerances in there, and they could have just snapped them. Not saying that didn't happen, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely water. Oh yeah, look at it. It's even like super clean at the bottom. All right, cool. Let's take a look. We got a filter. This would have been filled with water probably, and I don't see any cracks in it, so that's great. If the plastic didn't crack, we're good. I mean, you guys saw what it did to the engine oil pan aluminum. It totally cracked it, so I think we're gonna be good. I'll keep looking. So if you guys remember in the first video, I couldn't move this shifter. It was totally frozen, and this is what it connects to down here. So this probably had some ice on it. I'm glad I didn't force it because we would have broke it, but everything looks really nice. All this plastic stuff probably would have cracked if it was filled with water and ice and expanding, so I don't know. I'm up in the percentage on the trans shifting, and that's the control unit too. It's inside of the transmission with all the fluid and everything, so we don't really have to worry about the electronics there. I'm saying 53.89% chance, remainder 4, of this transmission working. So let me know in the comments. We're doing this in this series. Let me know where you guys are at right now. We got an engine that spins, a trans that looks like that. What do you think? What do you think percentage chances that this thing drives down the road? All right, we're going back together with a new filter, and I'm just gonna button this all up and we're gonna move on. I wiped the trans pan clean. I mean, it was basically already clean. So we'll get our new gasket on there. We'll slide this guy back in. Okay, get in, shimmy. I cleaned this, but I like to give it one last pass before we zip it up with a nice microfiber. Do you guys remember the days before microfibers existed and all you had were those red rags, those shop rags that are the worst rags ever, and they leave lint everywhere? These are the best, but there was that weird time. There was like a few years when these first came out that they were too nice to ruin in the shop. What was going on at that time? Like, we probably had world peace or something at that moment. Everything went downhill when we started using these bad boys as rags, but they just work so great. We could probably link world wars with that weird time where we were not using these as shop rags, and just everybody got happier. And we just said, you know what? They're not that expensive. Just start using them, and they're gonna work great. And just, gosh, they're the best. That's back on. I'll give it a little torque ski. We'll fill it up later. I wanna drain some of this other stuff like the transfer case and the differentials. What else do we have to drain? Gas at some point? And last one. All right, trans is torqued. Wait a minute, what is inside of here? Let's take a look. Yep, there's the flywheel. Honestly, God, I've seen normal cars that just sit around for a while look like that, and that's not bad. Let's drain the differentials. So these usually have breathers on them, so water definitely would have gone in with that flood line. We should know it would be at the bottom. Oh yeah, oh geez, there we go. Oh wow, I'm glad I did that. Come on, is there not gonna be any oil? Okay, there's some oil. All right, cool. It's definitely a weird color. I've never seen diff fluid be gray like that, but then again, I've never bought a lake flooded car. You know, I don't know. People that have, is that normal? We definitely got to drain the rear too and the transfer case. I'm just gonna assume it all has it. This does have electronic power steering, so hopefully water didn't get in there. That would stink. That thing's probably expensive. Next is the transfer case. Place your bets down below, water or no water. I'm gonna go with water. Yeah, it's water. Oh yeah, it's a lot of water. Jeez. It's just amazing how fresh and clean this water is. It seriously, it just tastes like regular water. I don't recommend you do what I just did, but it tastes just like regular clean water. All right, here's our transfer case fluid. Pretty sure this is just regular trans fluid. Doesn't look as clean as the trans, so maybe they didn't just service it, but this looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put these drain plugs back in, sealed and everything. We got all the water out, we're good. Click. Unfortunately, we don't have a drain for the rear diff. So we just have to take the cover off. Pain in the butt. Oh wow, I haven't even tried to separate this yet and water's coming out. Woo! That's pretty. Wow. This is very satisfying, let me tell you. Okay. Yeah, see, there's a lot of room to expand here, so I think that's why, you know, these aren't cracked. What is going on here though? Oh, wait a minute. This is a locking diff, isn't it? Wow, this is really cool, guys. I've never seen the inside of this style limited slip differential, but I think that came in the Z71. This is so cool. Everything looks really nice and intact. Oh, this is beautiful. I could just stare at this forever. That differential isn't the only thing that's beautiful back here. Look at the tailgate and more specifically the paint. It's a little dirty. When this thing's back on the road, I'm definitely gonna use the Avalon King Armor Shield Light Spray. This stuff is great. Look what it's gonna do to the tailgate. So you guys have seen me ceramic coat all of my cars, and this is a fast ceramic spray that can be applied in literally minutes, and it will make any painted surface ultra hydrophobic, just like the ceramic coating, and it lasts 3 to 6 months. So you can do this to an uncoated vehicle or one that's coated to boost its performance, and like literally that's it. And look at that. Look at this blue metallic paint, perfectly cleaned up. Oh man. So just like ceramic coating, this will bring out that deep glossy shine in your paint, and you can use this after you wash your car on your wheels, on your glass, as well as water and dirt will bead right off, so you'll use your wipers less, and to protect all your black painted trim as well. Now, I've been working with Avalon King for years, so they always give my viewers the best deal possible, and right now for a limited time, if you buy one of their bottles of Armor Shield Light, you're gonna get a second one for 50% off, and they're having a flash sale on everything else on their website. Everything is 25% off just for a couple of days. You've seen me ceramic coat pretty much my entire fleet, but they have car shampoo and other detailing products that you are going to love. And they're a great company who makes an amazing product for a fair price. So definitely take advantage of the deal. Click on the link down below, and back to the Silverado. All right, I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break and just do this. This is great. I'm just kidding. We're good to put the cover back on, and what's nice, there's a gasket, so we don't have to clean up a ton of our TV. Wait a minute, I spoke too soon, guys. We got chunks of stuff. Oh no, that's metal. Oh, this is a magnet. This is the magnet. It like broke, look. Huh, hopefully this is just the magnet that broke. Okay, yeah, that's it. I think it's just a magnet. Yeah, guys, the magnet broke apart. So maybe water filled the little hole, because this is right at the bottom, and it just expanded out and destroyed the magnet. But yeah, these are all pieces of magnet, even the little ones, see? So that's good. Okay, got lucky there. That was a little scary for sure. But yeah, these are all little pieces of magnet. All right, we're running this thing. It looks good otherwise. I cleaned up the gasket. It is reusable, so we're gonna go for it here. Slide this guy back on. All right, diff bolts are tight. Clean this off, and I'm not gonna put any fluid in this, or in this, or in this, until we get a little bit further in this video. I just don't wanna put any money into this until we know, or we have a better idea if this thing is gonna be worth it. Because with any flood car, you gotta go into it thinking that this might just be a part out. Like, it's especially saltwater, most of those are simply part outs. You can't trust them later on down the road, even if they do run. You know, if there's salt in the wiring loom and all that, it's gonna have little electrical gremlins for everybody. whatever. So yeah, I just want to get a little further with this guy. Now, something that's going to determine a lot of where this project goes is if the engine is good. We still don't know 100%. And we have this cracked oil pan, so it is possible water can get into the cylinder and crack that as well. We got to replace this, so let's take it off and take a look at the bottom end. So first step to removing and replacing this cracked oil pan is going to be removing the electronic power steering rack and then the entire differential, and then it'll have a lot of room to come out. Lots of connectors here on the electronic power steering rack. This is the big one. These should be very weather sealed though. Now we have a few massive bolts to remove this. Whew, that is big. Look at that. That's what it's clean though. Next we have the steering shaft. And this bolt right here, it's an 11mm head, like all steering shaft bolts. I don't understand that. That's one weird common denominator thing I found with cars, is that most of them use an 11mm head. I don't know, guys. What's the deal? Do you know? All right, steering shaft is disconnected. Get these tie rods out here too. Ooh. That was nice, it popped, but then the nut gets stuck. Okay, I'll take it though. Sometimes it's a pain to get these to pop up. Make life easier, we're gonna heat this up and we'll melt the nylon out. It's oozing out. Woo! Get out of here. I think there's water in there too. I don't know. Then you can hold the 21 and tighten this. It's a 10. And it'll come right off. This should be it. I have one more bolt here hanging on by a thread, literally. There we go. There she is. Get these tie rods out. She's hefty. No tie rod would be nice. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. There we go. All right, let's get some front drive shaft bolts out. 11s for the win. Nice and clean. And we'll flip this around. Little shimmy and we're good. All right, let's kind of leave that over yonder for now. Let's get some axle bolts next. Spin it around. These are pretty easy, and then we could leave the axles in. Let's see. How much room will we have? This should be good as long as we can go straight down. Next, we have 2 fasteners here, one there and one there. Oh yeah, she's loose. Almost smashed my fingers. This is the easiest diff and steering rack ever. If you guys were around for the GMC Typhoon where I had to remove the oil pan and get the diff out of the way, nightmare, guys, nightmare. I know it was only like 10, 15 minutes in the video, but it took like 4 or 5 hours and it was horrible. This is so easy. Thank you, GM. You learned. The Typhoon taught them. With everything out of the way, we can get a really good look at this oil pan, and yeah, that is cracked pretty good. And a lot of you guys had commented as far as where the oil went. Well, yes, it could have came out of the crack there, but because the oil rises and this thing was potentially fully submerged in a lake, that would mean the oil would have just come out. It was probably in the lake, unfortunately, and then this filled in with water. So yeah, lots of theories going on. I think it's a boating ramp accident. A lot of you guys said maybe it was an ice fishing accident. I don't know yet. I don't have any solid info, but if you guys have any information, the hotline here is legitstreetcars@gmail.com. Please send me an email if you know what happened to this truck. It was located in Wisconsin its whole life. Now we gotta get some bell housing bolts out. Where the oil cooler lines come in, we got water coming out. Hey, they got a little oil. Cool. We got a brand new filter with the new pan, so we don't even have to take this off, but why not? Hey, oil, yes. Yes, that's what I was hoping to see, I guess. So the oil filter was completely sealed off, and let's see. Yeah, just oil, sweet, good deal. Bunch of 13s holding this guy in, and this should be our last one. Oh, this is RTV'd in, which is abnormal for GM. I mean, normal for this generation, though. Woo! All right. There we are. Not bad. Please be okay. Please be okay, engine. Ah, okay. Dipstick was catching us there. Here she is. What do we got, guys? What do we got? So far, I don't see anything. You guys see anything? I don't see anything. We're kind of just looking at the block right in here. And on this side as well. So I want to make sure we don't have a crack here. The very bottom would be the part that would have cracked first, I would think. What is at the bottom of the pistons, though? It's like red. Whoa, it's like a gel or something. I don't even know. That's the, okay, I think this is just like discoloration, actually. It could be some of the stuff we sprayed in too. Okay, yeah. Is that a broken piston? Is that a ring? Here we go, here we go. This is actually normal, believe it or not. On some pistons, they have a little divot there. And yep, and then there's another one that's normal. So you can see the very bottom of the oiling ring. That is normal. And yeah, this just looks like this red discoloration. It's nothing chunky. Well, man, look at these cylinder walls. Every one of them looks great. Yeah, this looks fantastic. There's no rust in the cylinders at all. You can see right here, we have a little oil squirter. That's kind of a cool newer feature of these engines. Wow, this looks beautiful. I'll go over each one of them, but they all look really nice. Something else I'm inspecting are the connecting rods to make sure they are perfectly straight and not bent, because if this thing went into the lake and was running, we could have bent a rod, and sometimes the engine will still spin with a slightly bent rod. These are looking good. We got to spin this motor over and just look at everything in action. I just want to be 100% sure this engine's good before we invest, you know, even more money into it. Here she is spinning. Oh yeah. Ugh. Ah! I knew that was gonna happen. I don't know why I was standing right there, but we got all the stuff in the cylinder soaking, and now it's on my face. Great. All right, I'm gonna stand over here now. And I'm just watching everything. We're looking good. Look at this, we got a lot. Ooh, yeah. That's great. Oh yeah, she's spinning good, guys. I don't see any issues whatsoever. If it was fully submerged and the oil, you know, was pushed up, it like kind of lubricated everything. And then we just had that little bit of water at the bottom that cracked the pan. So I was thinking about this too, because a lot of you guys had mentioned that the cylinders would have expanded from the ice and cracked, which is definitely possible, but there would have been most of the cylinders with closed valves, meaning that the piston rings and the valves were sealing it from water, so water shouldn't get in there. And then the ones that had the valves open would have a lot of room for expansion, because it would expand all the way into the intake manifold like you guys saw. So in either scenario, you're kind of in an okay situation. And yeah, I mean, the cylinders look great. I think they were just flushed out with oil. So I'm gonna count this as a win. Oh, and check this out. I stuck a dehumidifier in here. Woo, it's musty. Everything is kind of waking up, that's for sure. Let's turn this off and see how much water we have. Oh, this is a lot heavier than when I put it in. Whew. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Oh yeah. It's just a few hours. This is awesome. How much to drink this stuff? If you guys saw the first video, you know we're saving some of the Silverado ice. So we'll pour this out right next to it. There you go. Some good old Wisconsin water. So I did order the new oil pan right from GM. It's coming in tomorrow, which is perfect timing because we absolutely have to gut this interior right now. It is completely thawed out at this point. It took forever though. There was always a sheet of ice under the carpet, but it's good and it was getting nasty in there. That's why we did the dehumidifier. The leather in this thing feels great. We cleaned it in the last one, but it is fantastic. I don't feel any water in the cushions and it hasn't expanded and ruined the leather. That's a big deal. But anyway, now that it's all thawed out, let's pull some stuff up and take a look at our carpets. And yep, I mean, as expected, everything is wet, but look at that beautiful, beautiful blue. I love this color. All the buttons feel really nice, so that's great. Trailer brake action still springs back. I just noticed this, but we're at like 800 RPM at 19 miles an hour when the cluster froze. That's crazy. Something I've been trying to figure out is, was the engine running when it went underwater? I don't know. That's kind of a good sign. That's like perfect. Like it would have been at that RPM roughly at that mile an hour, so maybe. So remember all this stuff was frozen, now it's just soaking wet. Here's our manual, some fuses. Oh yeah. All right, let's get this stuff out of here. Oh, that's the window sticker. This might be okay. We'll check on this a little later. Oh, but we have all sorts of receipts I'll probably never be able to see. Let's see what we have here. Wow, $52,000 sticker. Let it dry right here on the Eclipse. Oh, wait a minute. This is the 6-speed. I thought this was the 8-speed. My wife's 2015 Escalade has the 6.2. That has the 8-speed. This has the 6-speed. Okay, whatever. That's like a way less problematic transmission than the 8-speed. That's great. Look at this, auto locking rear differential, and the Rancho shocks are stock. I had no idea. I can't just simply power up the vehicle and move the seat, so I'm taking out some side bolts. There we go, like that. And this should now, yeah, this will be loose. Cool, all right, not bad. So I get the seat loose. The last thing you wanna do is put power, because especially with like an SRS control unit, if it's a block of rust in there, it could blow off the airbag. So we have to verify all that first. Oh no. There's definitely water inside of these cushions, just at the very bottom. Look at that. Gosh. Held up great though. Look at the threads on the seat track. How is that not rusted? That's the fan for the cooled seats. It's dripping water. Great. I've unplugged a lot of connectors under there. Should be able to get this out. Okay. Okay, this thing is a little heavy. Well, it's definitely easier to do with the seat frame not attached to it. Yeah, she's heavier. That's for sure. Oh, beautiful seat. I hope to be sitting in you one day, driving, not just loading it up on a trailer to send back to the auction. I want to drive this one. We got a worm. We got a worm. Yep, she's alive. Just kidding. This is gonna be our first interior control unit that we're pulling a plug on. This will tell us a lot. Oh, it's clean. It is very, very clean. And I mean, this definitely would have been super submerged. Man, I mean, there's water in the cluster. Could that be humidity? Did it maybe not hit the dash? That's kind of what I'm most afraid of, is all the stuff in the dash. Well, let's remove this center console. There's a couple of 10s here. I also found this, and I forgot to take a look at it. Is this a camera? Oh, no way. It's binoculars. Cool. I wonder if they still work. Yeah, a little foggy in there, but you know, cool. I'll take it. The headrest is dripping water out of it right now. Great. You know what? It'll be easier to work on the center console with the other seat out of the way. We got to take it out anyway. So here is our passenger side seat. And I was able to get this off with the seat frame. This is just clipped in. There we go. Now we have some massive bolts here. We're not messing around with the center console. There we go. Now it's loose. Sweet. Just pop this out. Ooh, get more electronics. This thing has a 120 outlet here. Couple of these, 3 of these. Here are the 10s we were looking for. Here are all the electrical connectors. Looking good so far. Now we're good. That's the big one. We're clean. We're good. All right, center consoles come out. Oh, here's a subwoofer, I think. Yeah, it says Bose right here. Yeah, I was wondering where this and the amp would be, because yeah, it's definitely underwater. All right, this is an important one. Here is the SRS airbag control module. Definitely gonna take this out and take a really good look at it, but that's clean. Here we are. Oh, looks great. How is this possible? Literally nothing. It's great. Yeah, it's not dripping any water. These interior connectors are weather packed too. You can see the rubber gasket. Great job. GM, I mean, like a rock, but also like a rock at the bottom of a lake. Like it's in great condition. I disconnected the 3 10s for our sub. Oh yeah, it's full. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and drain this outside. Yeah, there's our little baby sub. There's no amp in here though. This is just the sub. Gotta figure out how to get the water out. Oh, I could just pull the speaker. Honestly, this could have survived. The speaker's probably okay. All right, here's the last screw for the speaker, and they use 1/4-inch heads. So still going standard here. Chevy. There we are. Yeah. Just a little water. Checking on our block of ice. It's actually warming up here in Chicago. This guy's melting. There we go. All right. Sometimes my neighbors here at the shop look at me funny when I do stuff like that. But what are you gonna do? I have to move this seat around to get to the bolts to actually remove the seat track. So I've rigged up a battery and I pulled the plug on the forward and back seat motor. So if this motor is still good, this should work. Oh yeah. Yes, this motor is good. Woo! Something came to life in my Silverado. Something functions in my Silverado. It is the driver seat motor. I'll take it. This is quite the odd little bunch of parts that I threw right here. You know, engine oil pan, Bose speaker. If you just saw that and had to guess what kind of project I was working on, you probably couldn't. Let's take this door panel off. This looks great, guys. I mean, keep in mind the water line was like, you know, yay big. This is clean. Look at this. This is like a sound detonating material that would have been soaked in water. I mean, it's perfect in here. Even this foam. I mean, what in the world? The speaker definitely has some corrosion. I mean, maybe we just went up to there. I don't know. We're gonna do the same thing with the window motor. Jump it just like we did with the seat motor. Little battery. Let's see what happens. Oh, no way. It's going up. Haha. Get out of here. That's great, and look at this. Look, that's all the factory lube that they put on the window regulator. This is mint. I love this truck so far. God, I hope this thing runs. Take this off. Look at how nice this paint color is. This is the paint color I would get if I was ordering one of these new. And it kind of looks green in the sunlight and blue. It's like, it's kind of chameleon-esque or aqua, like that. Actually, hang on. It's called Deep Ocean Blue. I'd agree, GM, that is a very deep ocean-y look for sure. And hold on a second, deep ocean, it fell in water, it was a lake, but it's kind of fitting. Let's get this carpet out of here. It's actually 2 pieces, which is nice. It'll be easier to handle. Oh man, yeah. Very wet. Okay. So heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
God, seriously? It smells fine. It's like clean water. Jeez, this had to have been frozen right after it was pulled out of the lake. That's the only explanation I have for like how nice it smells. Yeah, definitely a lot of standing water. We're gonna have to remove all this padding. This is really, really thick. So on my site, Legitstreetcars.com, I sell a gigantic drying towel for the outside of your car, but couldn't really think of a better towel to use for this. Right now, we could soak all of this up first by hand. We have another fuse box under here. It's a little scary after finding the one under the hood. Oh, wait, no. Okay. Ooh, not a fuse box. Definitely some corrosion here, though. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Not horrible. I don't know about the insides of this, though, but I don't think we need to do any harnesses, guys. I think we're gonna be okay there. If your power ratchet's ever not doing the trick, you can neutral drop it. Yeah, a little trick of the trade there. Transmissions aren't the only thing you can neutral drop. Seriously, that's not really like a proper thing to do, but we're talking about gigantic nuts that hold in a seat. It's fine. Back seats are coming out. And I didn't want to fold these down before because they were frozen together. You don't want to rip the leather. We should be okay now. Yeah. Wow. I mean, outside of being a little dirty, these are great. Now with the seat out, we can get the back carpet out. Okay, nice. All right, I'll bring this over to the wash bay and let it drip. It's the next day, and we have pretty much the entire interior out. I had the fan on all of this last night, and we ran the dehumidifier. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. But not too surprising. I went around with a gigantic drying towel, and I just dried up everything I could see, and that was really about it. It is getting way too nice in Chicago. This thing is getting smaller. I have all the door panels off and it looks really nice. And the rear speakers have some fuzz. This front speaker and the other one are clean though. I'm still trying to figure out at what angle the water was. I mean, unless the whole thing was just submerged. These are the vents. Kind of looks like ram air intake, Pontiac style. And check out this GM goodness. I ordered the oil pan right from the dealer. This was about $300 and it comes complete. I mean, with an oil filter, the lower pan is already sealed on and we even get the windage tray and the pickup and everything. Try doing that on a Euro car. This is a crazy deal. We've cleaned up all of the RTV. Our crankshaft rods are looking pretty. Look, I mean, look at this. This even looks good. Just a little bit of surface rust, but this is clean. All right, GM used some gray RTV, but I have black RTV in the house, so we'll put this on. It'll seal right up, you know, for the next time it goes into a lake. Can you imagine I get this thing going again and I sell it to another guy who owns a boat and he floods it out too by, you know, falling through ice or backing up too far on a boat ramp, one of the two, because those are the only two possibilities. And then I get it back and I have to do this whole thing over again. Could you imagine? Would you guys watch that? It would just be the same video titles with again at the end. Oil pan going in, GM, I love you for many, many reasons, but why'd you get rid of the gaskets for the oil pan? That was like one of the nicest gaskets ever. Now we have RTV. I'm gonna be all quick about it because the oil's dripping and stuff. I gotta worry about this stuff smearing everywhere. The gaskets were perfect. Oil pan's in. Just gonna tighten up all these bolts and we'll just go back together, you know, in reverse order. Diff's going back in. Easiest diff in the world. GM, you're so good at stuff like active fuel management, like your 8-speed transmissions and 6-speed transmissions. A lot of guys let me know that they had a lot of issues with those at this era. I thought the 6-speeds were okay, but apparently they had pretty much the same shuttering issues as the 8-speeds. But nonetheless, they made the diff easy. Yes, they did. And you have your 4L60s from back in the day, although one of my Trans Am lived forever and still lives on. What else did GM mess up on this era truck? Active fuel management, the transmission. What else? They're pretty good after that, right? Oh yeah. Lined it up real nice. Can't thread a nut on though. There we go. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. All right, truck is holding the diff in. Get this guy out of the way. U-joints feel great, so they're going right back in. And I have a little blue Loctite on the bolts. And start these by hand, of course. And it's make life easier. Turn it around. Axle bolts did not have any Loctite, but it's just something I always do. Get a little on there. Never going anywhere, buddy. We're married now. We'll plug in our diff. So this has an auto feature where you can run around in 2-wheel drive, but when it senses slip, it applies the front, and that has to do with the transfer case as well. There we go. It's rack time. If this is bad, I'm keeping it for a curling bar. It's perfectly even. Just kidding. I'll have like one really big bicep and one little baby bicep. I don't think water got in this. We had nothing in the rack boots, which aren't super sealed up. So I think we're gonna be okay. And this is the steering angle sensor. And I do believe that is very sealed as well. God, I guess we could find out, but I kind of don't wanna know. All right, let's go back together. All right, this thing goes over yonder. Maybe I should have done the other side. Not gonna lie, guys, I kind of recommend removing the tie rods, you know, for this job, but being lazy. Never mind, I don't recommend it at all. Just do it this way. It's easy. I need a break. Okay, break's over, let's go. Let's go. There we go. Don't kill me. Sometimes working on cars and trucks kind of makes you feel a little manlier, doesn't it? Like I'm not really good at sports or coordinated really at all. Not really all that strong either, but when I work on cars, I'm the man. Tie rod's going in, and these nuts have that nylon on there So, definitely replace the nuts, or you can just heat up the nylon and reuse it. I officially recommend replacing the nuts though. That is the most proper thing to do, but I've done this for over 20 years and never had an issue. So I'm doing this, but you should do it according to the book. Do I have to say that kind of stuff? Just do the right thing, people. And now we're gonna heat up the nylon in the nut. Like, I see water dripping down. Where is that coming from? That's water. Where are you coming from, water? Come on. Now, while it's on fire, bam, she's never moving. Steering shaft bolt. The connector's going in, and we are done. Very nice. I gotta say though, the corrosion protection on the Rancho shocks, not good. Philistines probably wouldn't look like this. Seriously, it ages the vehicle poorly. Like, if this thing runs and drives, I'm gonna treat it with some new shocks. And there's one hidden bolt up here. With our oil pan on and everything buttoned up, it's time for a little bit of AMSOIL engine flush. Drink up, buddy, drink up, you're gonna need it. So this is good to do when you have a lake flooded engine, but also because this does have active fuel management. And a lot of the issues with that cylinder deactivation is oil pressure, not actual engine oil pressure, but the pressure that's going into the system that disperses the oil to collapse the lifters in order to shut down that system. So if there's issues there, the lifter will partially collapse and then everything just kind of goes bad. So you want to keep your oil clean, change it often, especially if you have that active. But for now, we're going to use some cheap auto parts oil because we are going to be changing this eventually if this thing actually runs. Fingers crossed. We got a good old Rural King. This was out of my GMC Typhoon when we picked it up. It should work for what we're doing. We'll get a real battery in if this thing is, really going to function. Come on, Rural King, you can do it. Positive going on. I should probably get a fire extinguisher. Moment of truth, guys. Moment. Oh my gosh. That's normal. That freaked me out. Here we go. There's power going through some of the veins of my frozen auto. We have engine oil. We know this engine spins. It's time to see if it cranks over. Now, we know it won't do it inside with the key. All the electronics are still dead, but this gives me the opportunity to show you guys a really cool tool. It's a relay with a switch, and you can buy these just off Amazon. I bought like a 10-pack of all different kinds of relays, and I don't know, it was like 20 bucks. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is pull the starter relay, and we're gonna replace it with this guy here. We have battery power. We don't need to do anything else but flip this on and see if this engine cranks and how it sounds. Oh geez, should probably get this bar out of the way from hitting the belt, but here we go, guys. Here we go. Woo! Okay, hang on. I gotta take a moment to comprehend the sounds. I think that sounded pretty good. I think it did. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay. I don't know, I kind of heard of something going on in there. Could be just the valves opening. We don't have an intake on, so you kind of hear more of that. Let me investigate. Got the borescope hooked up. Let's watch all these valves move. All right, that's good. Moving. That one's moving. All right, here's one of the back cylinders. Looking good. Yes. We're almost there, people. All right. Cool. Looking good. And last one. Whew. All right, that looks great, guys. Oh yeah, no, this is sounding good. Sounds great. Keep in mind, we have the spark plugs out, and oil has now built up oil pressure, so it's been sitting for a little while. But I think this engine sounds absolutely perfect. So at this point, we have an engine that's alive, almost, and we gotta get some electronics to work inside. So let's get to some electrical diagnosis and see what we can get to light up. I pulled a bunch of the modules out. They're on the table. We're gonna dissect them. I just wanna get the radio out now. And we should just be able to pull this trim out. There we are. Okay. Yeah, we got some corrosion. I'm not worried about the harness. Stuff like this is not sealed, so I'd imagine there's some damage in there. Guess we'll find out. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of stuff back here. Oh, geez. Oh, man. There are so many modules on newer cars. Like, I already have like 5 or 6 out. This is the stuff that adds up, guys, even if we do have a good engine. Oh yeah, that is very nicely corroded. We definitely had, I mean, this whole dash was submerged, there's no doubt. Look at this, there's still a CD in here. Oh man, she ain't looking good. We're definitely putting power on this thing though in this video to see what actually lights up. We'll put it back together. I think this upper dash pad just comes off. Woo! It just comes off, just clipped in, great. There we go. All right, the lower part down. What do we got, what do we got? Oh, a little surface rust, okay. sneak this out. I gotta say, so far, this truck is built very, very well, seriously. Here is our instrument cluster. I think there's still water in here. Yeah, at the bottom, there's water. 4 screws and she comes out. Oh yeah, it's dripping. Jeez, what happened to this poor Silverado? Little fuzz. Oh, great, we can unclip this so we can clean out this part of the lens. I don't know if this is gonna matter though. Jeez. Oh, that is fantastic. We can definitely clean the inside of this. We're gonna need a cluster, aren't we? There we go. It wasn't running at all, see? And it had really good oil pressure. Hopefully it did not have a full tank of gas. The engine was not overheating. Battery voltage was perfect. It's fixed. This is the BCM, body control module, and we can open it up and see what's inside. Oh no. No! Who saw that coming? Okay, so for all intents and purposes, this is shot, but that's okay because these are like $50 used. They're really, really cheap. This isn't like working on a McLaren P1 or a Rolls-Royce Cullinan or a GT3 RS or anything crazy. I don't know who would do that. This is a Chevy Silverado, people, and you can get these parts for like 50 bucks. So that's probably what we're gonna do, but if you guys have been around the channel for a while, you may remember a video I made on an Alpina B7 that was essentially a flooded car because the back glass was bashed out and the whole trunk filled with water and it had a bunch of modules. So the back glass was busted out, as you can see here. And oh man, that's not good. Oh no. There's probably like 100 modules on this car. Oh my gosh. Ew, that is so gross. I was able to resurrect most of those modules by cleaning them. So we'll try that because in this video, I wanna just kind of turn the key and see what's going on. But worst case, we'll replace it. And here you go. Yeah, surely doesn't look like it'll ever work again. This is the Bose amplifier. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's bad. This is really bad. Let's go ahead and put that back and forget we ever saw it. Let's move on. What is this? This is the transfer case control unit. Yep. This is the SRS control unit that I believe to be sealed, but I'm gonna open it up anyway. I don't plan on flooding my Silverado in a lake again, so if we break the seal here, I'll try my best to reseal it, but it's not super important. But I do wanna know what's inside here. This is an important one. If it's compromised at all, I'm gonna replace it because this could potentially light off an airbag if it shorts out. I don't like that. I don't like airbags blowing up in my face. Well, unless I'm in an accident, then thank you, airbags. We'll heat this up. I think there is some glue or a seal in here. Let's see, can we get in here at all? Oh man, we might have to get violent with this guy. I cannot peel this thing off, so we're getting violent, people. Is this the right cutting blade for plastic? Probably not. That seems doing good. Woo! You know this thing's gonna be totally fine. Like the only one I'm literally cutting through is gonna be totally fine, but I gotta know. It's airbags. Like butter. Woo! Watch, I just totally cut through the board. Hey, I didn't cut through it. It actually looks fine, but we can't see like kind of the more important side, but I think this thing was sealed. Yeah, I think this is gonna be okay. There was no water coming out of here at all. We'll just go ahead and put this right back, maybe a little tape, you know, avoid if seal broken. Looks fine. Start cleaning this guy up. So don't use brake cleaner or anything, use electrical contact cleaner. And don't use a wire brush, use a soft bristled brush. Not bad, not bad. It's cleaning up pretty good. Wow, okay. So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
All right, here's the other side. Be gone, green fuzz. Wow, this is looking great, guys. Here she is, guys, looking great. I was not expecting that. We got rid of all the green fuzz. This side looks fantastic. Here's the back of the instrument cluster. Not looking the best. We can try though, but all we can do is try because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. The cluster is not looking the best after the cleaning. Who knows what it looks inside as well. It's such a cool cluster too. You guys wanna see the back of the radio? Oh, woo. She's crispy. You wanna know what's great about all of this? This is every single module added up. There's 3 more behind the radio, but they're roughly $50 to $100 each. So let's just say right now we have $1,000 in modules, but we're replacing like 10 of them. That is really, really cheap. Now we do need to dig into the airbag and a bunch of other stuff, but it's a good start. After a lot of cleaning, we've got most of the modules back in. This guy, that one. The engine computer was in great shape. It's completely sealed, so we'll put this back. We sprayed this out and cleaned it. It turned out pretty well. Got a couple new relays in too. All right, that's it. We're gonna plug in the infotainment screen just honestly for fun. I mean, I gotta replace this. Just wanna see, could this possibly work at all? We'll just leave it right there. Okay. Same thing with the cluster. We'll see what lights up, if anything. All right, it's plugged in. And something I noticed is in the auction pictures, the cluster does look to be lit up, which is crazy to me. Unless it was the lighting of their camera or something, I don't know. Okay, we're not gonna plug in the SRS control unit or the amplifier, that's not needed. I think everything is plugged in right now. Here we go, people. Here we go. I don't know why, but I'm gonna stand away from this airbag. You never know. Oh, first sign of life, we have a dome light. Oh, the wipers. Oh, we get some stuff on the cowl. Hang on. I think they're off. Let's move everything off the cowl. Just cleared everything off the cowl. They're stuck on. Yeah. Okay. It was raining that day. Oh man. Do we have turn signals? Oh, we do. But we have no cluster. Do we have a radio? No, we have no cluster at all. Come on. No horn. We got dome lights. Those work. It's got a great headliner, I'll tell you that much. The taillights work. I mean, they're stuck on, but they work. And yeah, it doesn't look like these are damaged at all from water. Check this out. We got a soft open tailgate. We have some of the parts drying back here, but I mean, seriously, like they never put anything back here. To be expected, these modules were very, very corroded. And although I was able to save quite a few in the Alpina, those had not been sitting in water for as long as this one. They were in the trunk of that car and I was able to resurrect a lot of them. This car been a little bit different and the modules are made by different companies too. So they might have a different level of protection on the circuit boards and stuff like that. But check this out. When we pull the key out, we do have headlights, which just popped up. Our battery was getting low. So I'm charging that up and more stuff is coming to life. Watch this. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but watch. Hear that? The transfer case is switching right now. So we're on 4-wheel and we'll go back to 2. You can hear the motor working. So that's working. It wasn't working before. So that's great. Stuff is literally coming back to life as we let it dry out. So this is our OBD2 port and these pins are very important and some of them are a little green. I think they're totally intact though. So we're gonna spray them with a little contact cleaner and I'm gonna be using a plastic bristle brush. The battery is disconnected right now. We're just gonna give these a little bit of a clean there, but they weren't bad. Probably function okay. We got that pretty clean, but I'm gonna take it one step further. I'll pull this down, check the back side. Any of the pins that look suspect, I am going to remove. I just depinned this one. And this is for CAN communication, one of the most important. You know, it looks okay, but let's clean it up. Little spray, and we'll brush its teeth all the way around. Once clean, I'm gonna come in with a pick and just push up a little bit on the contact point, and that's gonna tighten the pin. That way, when the spades push in from the OBD plug, they get really good contact. But once you're satisfied, we're just gonna push this pin right back in. It's going to click, it's secure, and then they have a blue slide clip like this. All right, that locks everything in. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with how these are looking, so let's get to testing. Well, our OBD connector definitely works. I mean, it's scanning some things. Surprisingly, the amp, which looks horrible, did not have any codes, but it's communicating with the HVAC parking control module, some stuff that's not super important, but it's not communicating with the engine computer, the trans computer, the suspension modules, and a bunch of stuff that's needed to start the car. Now, a really awesome subscriber that's a GM tech sent me this diagram. This is really important. This is gonna show the CAN communication between modules. This is the high-speed CAN. So modern cars have what's called a CAN system or controller area network, and this is the way that control units talk to each other. And there's a couple different kinds of CAN. There's CAN high, CAN low. Some cars have a medium CAN, and all that has to do with is voltage. So on the high-speed CAN is all the important stuff needed for the vehicle to run, like the engine computer, trans computer, and all that kind of good stuff. The instrument cluster on a lot of cars is very important. On some cars, if you disconnect that, it won't start. The diagram that I was sent is everything on the high speed CAN, everything we need to get this car to run. And so everything starts with the engine computer up top, then the trans computer, the transfer case module, and on this case, the telematics module and the human interface module is all super important. That all leads up to the body control module. Then we have suspension modules. Everything here basically needs to function. So what I need to do now is identify some connectors that have the 2 CAN wires going to them. They're linked throughout the entire vehicle, and we're gonna test for resistance and kind of rule out any modules that are having CAN communication issues. So let's get the multimeter. All right, guys, here's the game plan. Let me know what you think. This right here is a junction block, which is this guy, and it has a bunch of connectors. This was definitely in water. And I wanna test this junction block, which will also test our trans control unit and our engine control unit if we test at these two wires here going into the transfer case control unit, which is this guy right here. So all these CAN communication wires are blue and white. You can see those right there, and I double checked in the schematic. That's what we need. So we're gonna pull this out. All right, there we go. And then I broke out my breakout box. We're simply gonna probe these two wires here, blue and white, like that. And well, that's bad. What we're looking for is 120 ohms, so we're checking resistance. So an open in the wiring there or a control unit or junction block is obviously bad. We want it to read 120 ohms because that's the amount of resistance that's supposed to be in that circuit. There are two terminating resistors at both ends. One's actually back there and one is in the engine computer, and they keep this consistent resistance in there so that everything is talking kind of on the same level. So right now, this could be a bad junction block, a bad engine computer, or transmission computer, which the last two I highly doubt are bad. They're totally sealed. One of them's in the transmission. So that junction block is super suspect. I'm not exactly sure, but I do know someone with a very similar truck, my wife's supercharged 2015 Cadillac Escalade. It is the same year. Hey babe, how many hours are you here today?
Like 2 or 3.
How do you feel about your Escalade turning into a parts truck?
Can I still go pick up the kids?
Yeah, once I put it back together. I just need to borrow stuff for, you know, the Silverado or the Frozenado. I don't know, what's your nickname for this thing?
Frozenado.
Frozenado? It's the Frozenado. I gotta borrow a few parts that were frozen on my truck that you might have for me.
Okay, as long as I can pick up the kids and my car can still drive.
No guarantees. Out she comes again, and yeah, I mean, we tried to clean this up as best as possible, but you never know what's shorted out in there. Here is the junction block in the Escalade under this cover. Get out of here. There she is. All right, let's get this out. All right, here's this part from the Escalade. It looks identical to the Silverado. Junction block from the Escalade is in. Let's see if anything lights up. Keep in mind this cluster's been underwater. Nothing. We're doing a new scan now. Let's see if we can communicate with anything more. Come on, it all starts with that engine computer. Oh, yeah. All right, so gray is no communication. Orange is communication with codes, of course, 15 different codes. This is awesome. We are getting all sorts of communication. Look at that. Sweet, keep communicating. Communication is the key. All right, here are the codes. So we have pretty much everything under the hood disconnected, intake air temp, map sensor, all this kind of good stuff. So these are all normal codes. All right, lost communication with the BCM. Lost communication with the BCM. Lost communication with the BCM. All right, that is very common. There's another one. Okay, I do have a feeling our BCM is bad, and that is kind of the gateway for a lot of the stuff inside the car to work. But I also think that the security system on this car communicates with the BCM. So you turn the key and there's what's called an immobilizer ring here, and it's connected to this little box here, also underwater. And then I think this gives the BCM the okay to, to start. But we're still not getting this cluster to work. It could be totally fried. But look what just came in the mail. I ordered a bunch of control units, used ones, and I ordered a used cluster, even though we actually cannot really use this at the end of the day. Lots of parts on newer cars are VIN coded, especially the cluster, but this was like $40, and I just want to plug it in to see if it'll help us communicate with other modules on the car. I do have one ordered from the dealer, but it takes a while to come in because it's VIN coded. They have to match the mileage and all that craziness. But anyway, this is cool. Look at this Z71 cluster. It looks mint. Let's go plug it in. We can't communicate with the cluster at all. That thing is shot. Let's get rid of this guy. It's only one plug. There we go. And here's our used and very temporary cluster. We'll plug this in. Oh, look at that. Oh, get out of here. No way. Oh, it's lighting up. I forgot to turn the key back. No way. Look at that. She's alive. The Silverado is alive. We got a cranking engine. We have a cluster. Oh man, let's press some buttons. Hold on. We got heated steering wheel, that's kind of cool, but let's see. All right, airbag, we're gonna have a lot of issues here. Side detection system, front camera, the tire system, theft deterrent system. Oh, okay, that's it, not bad. And we can still shift in and out of gears without hitting the brake, that's weird. Whoa, look at this. All right, we already saw info, audio, navigation. Yeah, we don't have a screen. Let's see, settings. Oh, look at this. This guy had 142,000 miles, almost 143. It didn't quite make it to 143. I mean, that's a lot of miles, I guess, for a new car these days. That's pretty bad. All right, we got average fuel economy, blah, 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 oil life. All right, none of this stuff is actually working, but we have a cluster that lights up. I'm just curious, will this crank at all with the key? No, theft deterrent system. It's not right. With the wrong cluster, nothing matches, so it's not gonna crank. That's, you know, it's deterring the theft. So we should have the instrument cluster pop back up, but I wonder if anything else is gonna come up. That's a lot of stuff, guys. All right, I don't honestly remember if that's any more than before, but whatever. Let's do a gauge sweep. Woo! That's pretty cool. All right, look at that. We can light up all the indicators on the dash. Anyway, lots of fun stuff we can do in the computer, but something that I want to check now that we can communicate with the engine control module is oil pressure. We can see that here, not here right now because none of the gauges are actually working. Hey, you want to see something cool?
Sure. Did you get it to work?
Some stuff is working, yes.
Nice.
But there's a big moment of truth, which is, does it have oil pressure? So I need you to hit a little button and we're gonna crank the engine over.
All right.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit this little switch here and we are gonna watch the computer, and then when I tell you to switch it off, switch it off.
Okay. So
The
we're
engine's
turn
gonna
it
make
on?
noises, yes.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
It's gonna be loud. Am I gonna get
Nah,
scared?
it's not gonna be loud.
Okay.
Go. Let's see. Look at that, we got like 50 PSI oil pressure, that's awesome. All right, you can turn it off. We have 50 PSI! 50 PSI cold cranking oil pressure with 0-20. That's fantastic. Oh man, this engine's gonna live. Do you want to see the cluster?
Sure.
It's pretty cool. Check this out.
Do I turn it all the way?
Nope. It won't matter, but hang on, just wait a minute. Turn on. Is it done turning on? Huh. Try it again. What is going on, Silverado? Wake up. Try it again. Seriously, it lit up. All right, let's disconnect the battery. This has got to work. Yeah! Came on for a split second. Yay! You see that?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it works.
It looks so good too.
I know, this is like a nice truck.
I can't believe this thing was underwater. That does not look like it at all.
Fully underwater. This man, if this thing works, this could be a nice daily.
Oh, I'm excited for you to
Yeah.
get a pickup truck for sure.
Yeah, well, and a nice daily. Because a few days ago, I drove the Jeep home, and we have the Caprice at the house, and the Grand National and the DeLorean, and I had to take the truck, and she had to take one of my cars, and which car did you take?
The Caprice.
The Caprice. And that's not a normal car
No.
for a family to drive around in.
No.
No,
No,
it's
not
not.
to take my kids to sports.
She was driving the camming Caprice around. It's pretty cool.
But you took my truck
Yeah.
in an accident.
Yeah.
Without telling me, and then I got stuck with the Caprice. It was a whole thing.
Cut that part. Hey, it starts. It's all back together. You have all of your parts, and I have new parts coming for the Silverado, so thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah?
I'm glad the car started.
Trusty Escalade.
All right. Have a good day.
See ya. All right, guys, I think this is a big success. We have a truck that is kind of working electronically. I mean, we have 60% of the control units reporting back. Granted, they have a million codes, but those are just minor details. And we have an engine that looks great, amazing oil pressure. And I think, knock on Silverado, that this is the recipe so far for a successful, very flooded truck rebuild. I think we can do this. I think we can get this thing back on the road and stay under budget because, you know, you can fix anything with money, but I want to keep this realistic. Was this actually a good deal or not? If you dump 20 grand into it, you could just have bought a clean title one, and we don't do that on this channel. Stuff has to make sense. So anyway, we're going to break that down in the next video and try to get this thing to run because I have a bunch of control units on order that hopefully will fix all of this stuff up. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and the Silverado series thus far. If you have any information on what happened to this truck, I think it was a boating ramp accident, let me know. Legitstreetcars@gmail.com. It was flooded in September, October in Wisconsin. So let me know what you know about this. I'd love to see a video or a picture or something. But anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Give it a big thumbs up. Share the video with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel if for some crazy reason you haven't already. It's a free little button down there. It takes 2 seconds and it really helps me out. But most importantly, have an awesome day, and I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. I paid only $5,300. Welcome to Legit Street Cars. Maxellini, this will be what we call in the industry a zip zam zoo. And by industry, I mean me and you. All of the bacteria and something I've been trying to figure out is, was the engine running? Something I've been trying to figure out is if the engine was underwater. Something I've been trying to figure out is was the engine running when it went underwater? Here's our setup here. Here's this. I have some setup. I had the fan on, all of this. We're gonna plug in the head unit. We're gonna plug in the, what's this called? Head unit? Screen? I just ran a scan on the car, and I just ran a scan on the Silverado, so this is the engine computer. I just ran a scan on the Silverado, so this is the engine. I mean, honestly, when it went through, if it was fully submerged, communication that goes through there as well.
Wait, were you just filming?
Yeah.
Behind you.
And so we need to do a bunch of, and so everything starts with the engine computer. And so everything starts with the engine computer up top. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block. And I want to test this junction block, which will also test the ECU. And I want to test this junction. And I want to test this junction block. Don't flood out your car on a boat ramp like this, probably. I don't know, that's stupid, I should have said that. Boat at your own risk.